My natural hair color is too much for my mother to handle, by user bugs and sex bugs. I didn't know where else to post this. My mom started taking me to hair salons to get my hair highlighted when I was around 10. I never asked for it but went along with it because I thought it was cool that my mom was letting me bleach my hair. I got tired of it around a year later. I tried one time to get lowlights instead of highlights but it didn't work out. I didn't like arguing so I stopped trying after that. I more or less let it go until a year ago when I told her I was gonna grow out my natural color. I figured since I'm an adult it would be easier. She agreed initially but after a couple months she couldn't deal with how my roots looked. Said that there was enough stress in her life already and she didn't need one more thing on top of it all. Got back into a salon, highlights again. I argued but got tired of it. She is truly a good mother and we are very close. You have to understand that she's not in the best place mentally right now and I absolutely hate the idea of making her feel worse. I don't want to go into her problems because that feels wrong to do online but it's important to note she has always had people in her life controlling her hair too. She knows what she's doing but can't bring herself to stop. I'm not asking for anyone to solve my problem, I know that I'm an adult and I could start doing whatever I want regardless of her. I just needed a place to vent and maybe get some others' opinions on the situation. Edit. I clarified this in some comments but I feel it's necessary to add here. Her problem is with the color itself, not just the roots. My entitled mother threw a fit over her gift that she picked herself, by user 02 tired 02 care. Originally she wanted this designer bag in a bucket bag style. It sold out so I pick a bag similar to it in the same color different style. Weeks later she sees another purse that she likes and asks if I can return the other one and get this instead. Before purchasing it I told her several times that I didn't like it or the material the purse was made of and mentioned that the leather was too soft because there was already scratches on it and she insisted I get it. So I did. Christmas morning comes I ask her if she wants to open her gift she says no. Later after dinner when everyone was opening her gift she pushes it off again. She finally opens it and starts complaining. She complains about how it was all messed up and how she wanted to return it. I told her I couldn't because it was discounted and sold as is. She responded that she was still going to return it. I reminded her again how I told her I don't think she should get it and of course her response was I don't remember that. I'm fed up and now heartbroken because no matter what I do it seems to never be enough. I asked how was it possible that she found fault and disliked something that she picked out herself. Another thing that makes this whole situation worse is she didn't get anyone anything for Christmas, not even my little sisters whose birthday was on Christmas. Update. My mom told my brother that she no longer wanted the purse because it wasn't what to expected even though she saw it in person and picked it out herself. Not only that I asked if I can talk to her so I can express how she made me feel and she told me she didn't want to talk to me because I was rude to her. Should I kick her out? By user same_tangerine 42069. I, 27F, and my husband, 29M, live in the same building as my mill, 55F. The owner of the building accepted selling it to me and I'm paying like a monthly rent until I pay it all off. Mill has no idea that I own it and she give me rent money every month. I have 2 female Labrador and Mill has 1 male Labrador and 1 mixed breed. So when my dogs was in the front yard I used to feed all of them out of my money. And she would only clean if ever she is passing by and she sees some poop. Overall it's either me or my hubby who cleans. Yesterday I completed a kennel, made out of concrete and all the heating and cooling things so the dogs have their own little house, and as they are both potty trained we even put like a sand corner for them. I gave Mill the previous house for her dogs with his in perfect condition and we also reminded her that from now she needs to step up and take care of her own dogs as we are expecting a baby and will use the extra money towards the baby instead of her dogs. She got so mad for that and started berating me and telling me that her son would never do that to a widow etc. I cut her off and told her that my dogs are now in the backyard and the left corner of the front yard is hers as long as she maintains it well and keep the dogs in control. Last week the postman accidentally gave my bills to my Mill and when she opened it she saw that I had insurance cover on my dogs ever since I bought them. In my country we buy dogs and they usually stay outside. She is now angry at me and my hubby for not getting insurance cover for her dogs. I have now been getting phone calls from everyone in the family telling me that I am an awful person. I have been thinking of telling her that I am the owner of the building as this is the last month of payment I need to make and to tell her to pack her bags and find somewhere else to live at. My mother has ruined my image in front of my family, by user more profession 1419. For the last year I had been away in a different country for education. During this period I only really called my mom, sister and dad. I wasn't able to call the rest of my relatives due to not having their contacts at the time. I found out that during this period my mom has been telling my relatives bad stuff about me and telling them things that made them think badly of me. When I came back to my country, I had really important exams going on, for which reason I wasn't able to leave the house much for family gatherings. My mom and sister have all the world's free time on their hands, but I don't, so what I find out is that my mother is now telling my family that the reason I'm not going to the family gatherings is cause I dislike visiting them and that I'm a loser who likes to stay in the house, along with many other things. Now that the exams are over, and I'm able to go visit my family at gatherings, the over a year of shit talk my mother has been doing to them about me is making it really difficult for me to bond with them. I used to be at such ease around my family, but now I feel like a black sheep. Everyone treats each other so well, and when it comes to me they have such a distaste for me. It honestly upsets me so much because this family is all I have, and now that my mother's ruined them for me I don't know what to do. And she has the audacity to tell me to my face that now my family dislikes me and that they don't even care for me anymore, knowing damn well that she is the reason why. Right now it's been like a month since all this and I'm past trying to mend things. I've decided that if my family want to think poorly of me then they can do so, I just don't care anymore. I've almost completely stopped visiting them except for when they come to our house. Indian fathers and the age-old question of why they behave like man-children, by Userxton 8. Papa, I'm sorry you have Parkinson's. But really I'm not. 3 years ago, when I said I'd be there for you, that does not mean you can continue be nasty to me. When the tables were turned and I was sick as a child, in surgery or on medication, you were not there. But you made extra sure to remind me that you were paying for doctor's visits, antihistamines, surgery, etc. If what I am saying is untrue, you would know how many surgeries I've been through, what each one of them was for, who the doctor was, what hospital, etc., things parents should know. At home, you'd shout at me for losing my asthma pump when I was 9 years old and choking for breath mid-attack. As a parent, I am not sure why you didn't keep a spare on you. When we were in Australia, you snatched away my antihistamines while I sneezed and suffered through a horrible road trip that you forced me on despite my severe motion sickness. Sometimes you told me I needed to stop acting up and other times I needed to be strong or I needed to get on with it. It didn't end there. I've witnessed you explode with anger at the smallest thing. It didn't matter that it's normal for children to drop things, spill food, make mistakes in their homework, etc. You needed to take out your frustration on someone. Children do not realize when an adult is mistreating them, so it was very convenient. Another thing you and Mum have in common. When I went to Edinburgh University and you bought a flat there, you made sure to be extra nasty when you visited me, because I needed to be reminded I was ungrateful and all my mistakes and imperfections needed to be brought out in the open. You wanted me to sleep on the pull-out bed in the guest room despite me living there alone. You wanted me to wash dishes in cold water and not turn on the boiler. You dug through all my things and let me know that you were angry, no furious, at the multiple flavors of tea or soap that I had. You left me in that freezing flat, angry that the electric bill was so high but didn't do anything to isolate the apartment or change the heating to gas. When you'd berated my intelligence, drowned my will to live, and brought me to tears, you felt you'd done your job as a parent. The sheer anxiety of having you visit made me move out. Always remember that for all the shit you give me, I always got an equal amount or more from your ex-wife who guilt-tripped me into crash diets, taking diabetes medication, and multiple types of nutritional supplements because of my weight problem, which in addition to compounding the anxiety, gave me an irritable bowel. I deal with the effects of it to this day. You've never had much hand in raising me. I was raised by maids, tutors, and drivers and by Mum. They did the hard parts of it. To add the final touch, you ruined my PhD graduation. A moment that will never come back. All you could think of was yourself. Couldn't survive without a maid for 10 days. We hadn't seen each other for the entire pandemic, over 3 years. You couldn't care less that I had to pack up my entire apartment and move to a different country in the space of a week, that I was exhausted from my exam, etc. You demanded that I serve you hourly, bring you chai, arrange your pillows, and other ridiculous requests because the Parkinson's you've had for 3 years suddenly takes precedence over anything else going on in anyone's life despite having compromised dexterity but near full mobility. Did you ask your son to do all these things? He, like you, just sat around, judging me. Did either of you even just do the bare minimum of leaving me in peace to pack? No, both man-children decided to have a meltdown because I drew a line, get your own tea/water/pillows, I need to pack. Neither of you did a single thing that a half-decent father or a brother would do at a time like that. When you saw the disappointment on my face, you shed some crocodile tears, gave me a muttered sorry and then promptly returned to your old ways the very next day. I also noticed you tried button to give a toast when my professors asked me to give one, when being awarded the degree. That moment combined with the howl crying in front of the entire department encapsulates your parenting in a nutshell, always there to take credit, but never sincerely there to support your daughter in the way she needs. You're the reason I don't go anywhere near Indian men or their families. Your biggest compliment to a woman is that she's traditional because you think women exist to serve you. I've done what I could to try and repair our relationship. This includes trying to explain to you how hurt your behavior makes me feel, promising to pay for a therapist, offering to pay you back for university, even pretending things never happened, trying to just let them go once you met your new wife and you showed what I thought was a kinder side, only to realize that it's just an act. Even getting a PhD isn't enough reason for you to treat me with decency. When I told you how your demanding behavior during that time was hurting me, you then proceeded to ignore any kind of reconciliation I suggested, replying with one-sentence answers or the famed parents and children are not equal. All I've gotten for a lifetime of suffering with you is one lousy text with excuses about how hard your marriage was. You decided to marry and have children with her, you were not forced, and a staunch declaration that you have been a committed parent and that we didn't have to agree on everything. But when has any good thing you've given me, i.e. money, come without a complimentary can of worms? Paid for a lavish birthday party for me and 100 people? Yes, because you neglect me at home when I am trying to tell you I'm absolutely miserable in school and sick all the time. Paid for my medical bills? Shout at me at home for anything and everything, ignore me when I am sick, and remind me every few weeks how ungrateful I am. Paid for university? Get your money's worth by being extra nasty, criticizing everything I do in the flat, and slut-shaming for me having a boyfriend, something I notice you did not do to my brother? And even if I worked hard, got a PhD and a top-notch job? You were there to support in public but remind me of my place in private. Want to continue to live in the delusion that you were a great parent? Fine. Then it should be acceptable for me to treat you in your sick old age the same way you treated me as a sick child. If your money runs out, I'll give you some money for a carer. If you're being mistreated in your nursing home, you need to tough it out. It's tough love. When you are choking or in pain or you shit yourself, I'll tell you to just get on with it. I'll throw in a nice birthday party and whoosh, I'm a committed daughter.